the House Oversight Committee is looking into Hunter Biden's art sales, or the sales of his own art. Is the White House concerned about that? Does it have any response to them?
I will refer you to Hunter Biden's representatives on this. And right behind. Yeah.
There are concerns that the big tech layoffs and the banking layoffs will spill over into the broader economy. When the president speaks about the economy tomorrow, how will he address those fears and the fears of a recession?
And look, we understand, the fears. But what I will say is that, and I've spoken to this a couple of times, that there is data, job data that we have seen, job opening data that we have seen where layoffs remains record low. But there is, again, data out there that shows that the economy is growing, that shows that we are indeed going to a stable and steady growth.
Follow up, you said the president wants to work in a bipartisan way. He said this week that he has no intention of letting Republicans wreck our economy, was his words. Does the administration view calling out Republicans as an effective tool when dealing with recession?
So I'll say this, and I've talked about this before. Call out Republicans in particular in the House who are saying they want to cut Social Security, who have said very clearly they want, and the president has said that he's going to fight every day to protect those programs that taxpayers pay into.
But we will not be quiet. We're not going away. I think he'll regret giving all three of us more time on our hands. But at the end of the day, our mission now is to restore the credibility and integrity of this institution, of which the Speaker has so gravely smashed and destroyed.
Another topic. Any reaction from you from the White House about Speaker McCarthy's decision to keep Representative Schiff and Swalwell from the Intelligence Committee?
So I'll say this. Representative Schiff, Representative Swalwell, and also Representative Omar are expertise and bring a lot to the table when it comes to foreign policy and national security. And we'll say this, we'll say that, when it comes to that committee, it should not be politicized. It should be independent. And again, those congressional members bring a lot of expertise to that committee.
The House Judiciary Committee is planning its first hearing next week on what it's calling the Biden border crisis. Wanted to see if you have a reaction to that. And also, can you talk a little bit about how the White House is preparing for all of these investigations that House Republicans are planning?
So, look, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. During the midterms, we've heard from congressional members, Republicans in particular, that their focus was going to be on lowering costs for the American people. And on brand, they decided to do the opposite of that, to not deal with inflation. They are doing the complete opposite of what they said that they would do during the midterms. And we have to remember, the American people spoke very, very clearly on what they wanted to see. 4 out of 5 consumers looking for health care through the Affordable Care Act could find health care plans for $10 or less per month. That's because of the lower health insurance rates that were delivered as part of the American Rescue Plan and were locked in through the Inflation Reduction Act. In all, these lower rates are allowing millions of Americans to continue to save $800 per year on health insurance coverage. 750,000 manufacturing jobs created. Annual inflation falling and wages rising over the last 6 months. The president will then contrast his plan with Republicans, as you've heard us do many times from here.
On a separate matter, any reaction to Senator Joe Manchin moving to delay new tax credits on EVs?
So I haven't seen those reports. Clearly, when it comes to electrical vehicles, to really tackling climate change by making sure we're moving forward. One of the processes is making sure that we're moving with electric.
Any comment, Karine, on the reports that President Biden is considering Fed Vice Chair Brainard as the next head of the NEC? Is there any timeline for that decision process for him?
Look, I'll say this. Don't have any personnel announcements to make. The president would love to see and wants to see Brian Deese stay as long as he can in the administration.